Hi everyone, so today on my channel, as you can see in the title, I'll be doing my yearly roundup of all my favorite beauty products. And let me just put a disclaimer, this is going to be a long video, so grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, we will be here a while. So let's get into my favorites. Alright, so it might be a little bit annoying to most of you, but I am not going to go in order of makeup application, which means like primer, foundation, concealer, in that order. I just want to grab everything in this huge box of my annual favorites, 2017 to be exact, and yeah, just go through things that I've been loving and they've become like my staple products that I've used for any kind of occasion. Basically, my favorites would be perfect for an everyday occasion to a formal occasion, and to me that's what makes it a favorite, and also the recurring use of them. So yeah, let's just get started. Like I said, I'm not going to go in order of makeup sequence, I'm just gonna go into it and we'll talk about it. Okay, so the first item that I've grabbed, this is the setting powder favorite. It's a loose powder which I typically use. I think I definitely mentioned this in my 2016 favorite, but this hasn't even knocked off its top spot in my books because it's something that I constantly reach for an everyday to a formal occasion. And basically, you guys probably know that I don't really like to powder my face, but when I do, I can use a very minimal amount of this product, dust it on my T-zone, and it's just super natural while keeping my oils at bay. Alright, so the next item is powdered bronzers. NARS Laguna, still a favorite, still something that I always go back to. I find Laguna, as you can see here, is that perfect kind of brownish shade. It goes into the cheeks in the sculpted area like a really nice brownish with a greyish undertone kind of a shadow, but it's mostly brown, which is why I like to use it more for bronzing as well. And once I reach this cheek area, I just kind of concentrate a little bit more product here, and it gives me a very nice shadow effect. And very similarly, this is from The Body Shop. It's called the Honey Bronzer. I believe it's still around. I think I have the shade 03, but this shade, as you can see, is a lot more orangey, but somehow on my face it doesn't turn up like a true orange. It's just a very complementary color to my kind of, I would say I have a yellow undertone but more of an olive skin, so this is a very good complementary kind of bronzer that sits well on my face, looking more sun-kissed than anything, not too much scalp. Alright, for blushes, I couldn't just choose one. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes. You guys know I was going to mention it. As you can see, even in the packaging, these shades are the most neutral type blushes you can ever find in the market. As you can probably see here, these shades are so nude, and it's not anything that's like too bright a pink, too bright a purple or grape sort of a shade. It's just super neutral, and I'm actually wearing Central on my cheeks. The second blush brand I would recommend is Urban Decay. As you can see, the packaging isn't as fantastic as the Tarte one. The Tarte one, you can see the color shade right off the bat from the packaging, but this is a very sleek metallic packaging. I have the shade Fetish, Obsessed, and Video. They are definitely very wearable and everyday friendly colors. Alright, so for eyeliner, I have really loved, and this won't change, Dolly Wink eyeliners. I have the Eye Kohl in brown and black, as well as the liquid liner in brown and black as well. These are so good for Asian lids. It dries really quickly. I'm wearing the liquid liner on my lids. I wear it for any occasion that I need a liquid liner. Like I mentioned, there are a few elements of makeup that I don't wear on an everyday basis. I don't wear eyeliner, I don't wear powder on an everyday basis, but when I do, you know I need it to perform, and you know that I will need it to last and not smudge on me. I've mentioned it non-stop, and you guys probably know my favorite mascara is Heroin Make Volume and Curl. This year specifically, I went to a Japanese fair in Singapore at Suntec City, and they came out with the brown version, and I guess in the past 2 months I've been wearing this a lot. They have microfibers in them which lengthen short lashes, and for me, I have length in my lashes, but I just love them to look a lot longer, so I like to pile it on, let it dry a bit, and pile it on again. It doesn't crumble, it doesn't smudge, it's amazing. Unless you rub your eyes really hard, anything will come off, but this has lasted through tears, it has lasted through sweat, and it's super good. Alright, now let's get into highlighters, powdered highlighters more accurately. I've been loving two brands. I've mentioned one of them in my past 2016 favorites. It's the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors. These are the ultimate formulations for me. It's just something that if you want to glow, you just need it, and if you want something that's super obvious and really stark and almost blinding, you can spritz a little bit of setting spray and it almost looks foiled on the cheeks. On an everyday, something with a little bit more sheerability to a little bit more pigmentation, if you want that kind of variety, I would recommend the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. I have this in Lightscapade, which is like a pearly kind of, it swings a little bit more gold with a pearl undertone, so it's more pearly for fairer times. When I don't overly bronze, I can use this on the bridge of my nose, like at the precise point of my cheek, and I find that it's more of a, it has a powdery finish. It doesn't feel too buttery or anything like that, but it's sheerable, and if you spray a setting spray, it also becomes really pigmented. But a lot of people will say that this is their just OG favorite, but yeah, for me this is seriously stunning. It's the Soft and Gentle Mineralized Skin Finish from MAC. I'm wearing it now. As you can see, it's not like anything to look down on in terms of its glow inducing abilities. I did pack on a few layers without using setting spray just to show you guys what is the ultimate pigmentation these can give, but when you just do one swipe, it's actually feeling really powdery, almost like a setting powder, so you can use this like a light dusting on the cheek. I've only come to recently like the primerizer from Smashbox. It's a very lightweight, almost, it is a moisturizer, but to me it definitely feels more like a primer with moisturizing properties, because it feels like a very surface moisturizing. Okay, last but not least, Huda Beauty Complexion Perfection Pre-Makeup Base. This is like the stickiest primer I've ever used, and it almost sounds a bit distasteful when I say sticky, but I've never really noticed this about primers until I met this one, that the stickiness matters when you want to apply a foundation on top. It's something that, we are always accustomed to, oh, I want mattifying this, mattifying that, but this is really incredible. It pumps out like sunscreen also. I'm not sure how to demonstrate this to you guys, but it comes across like this white cream here. You spread it onto your hand, and basically it never really sets. It has a very sticky finish, almost like glue, and it latches onto the skin really well, so it glides all over kind of dehydrated areas and almost like any area that is a little bit patchy. And yeah, it just sticks onto it, leaves a sticky finish. Don't wait for it to set or anything like that, it won't. You apply a foundation on top and you just know it's gonna last like 20 hours and beyond. So for brows, I've only loved kind of these brow pencils exclusively from ColourPop, and they've come up with a bunch of brow range that suit different kind of girls that prefer either a natural brow to a really bold brow. For me, I quite like a bold brow on a formal occasion, so I like to use the ColourPop brow pencil. This is in black and brown. So this is more of like a gel or cream type formula. You twist it up, you can't twist it back down, but it's super pigmented, and I find that this gives me really kind of, I wouldn't say thick, but very pigmented strokes. So what I like to do is just frame my lower brow, brush it upwards, and yeah, it basically gives me enough tint for my whole brow. But I prefer this kind of formulation because I don't use a lot of product, and generally I find this stays on my brows a lot longer. Whereas this product, which just came out from ColourPop, is the ColourPop Brow Boss, and this is more what people are used to. It's a little less kind of, it's not so pigmented once you use it on the skin. It kind of allows you just to fill in sparse areas and that kind of thing. If you have really good brows, all you need to do is just fill in your necessary areas. This is something that you will love. It's more for that natural girl that likes a very almost unnoticeable brow. So my cream eyeshadow favorites are the ColourPop Super Shock Shadows. These are just a few that I've brought, but I have a bunch. And yeah, These are like moussey type formulas that go on the eye, super high shine, super pigmented. It allows you to apply it all over the lid, blend out the edges, and you get that kind of duo effect where the edges are a little bit more blurred out and the lid is super pigmented. So it's a no-brainer when it comes to smoky eyes. So my eyeshadow palette favorite, it's the Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes. I have the ×5 ones. I have one more. I have 3, and these 2 palettes which I got this year. Basically what I want to say about these shadows is that it's super pricey, super pricey, but it's not to be mistaken that, you know, I'm kind of advocating for luxurious spending, even though it seems like I am. But I really want to emphasize that these quality of shadows are literally the best out there. It's so pigmented, it's so blendable, and it's so easy to achieve a crazy professional look. I'm not sure what you guys think of my eye look today, but this is the New Year's makeup that I kind of created. Super beautiful. It's everything that I want for a formal occasion, or even when I just want to play with makeup. These pigmentations are stunning. I'm just going to show you a few swatches. So just picking up a few of these kind of pigments. Yeah, I'm not going to ramble too much on it. Alright, so it's super random order. Like I mentioned, I'm not going sequentially, but this is my top favorite concealers. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, as well as a drugstore favorite Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. And yep, these two are very different in formulations. This is a little bit more dewy, lightweight, everyday friendly. It's pretty sheer if you want to use it as foundation as well. It's really good. So this NARS Soft Matte Complete Coverage Concealer is really good. You can apply this with a beauty blender. It's a little bit difficult to get the product at some times because, you know, you either use a brush, your fingers, you dig in, you don't want to be unhygienic with it. So what I do is I use my clean beauty blender and I kind of go into the product and I dab it on my face. Alright, you guys know that I've been trying so many cushions lately, but these are the couple of cushions that have made it to my top favorite. Number 1, Pony Effects. This is the Everlasting cushion. Like, it's a more of a skin-like with a slight sheen kind of a finish. It's super moisturizing. I do tend to use this with a little bit of powder, but I find that this really adheres to the skin really well. For a drugstore favorite, I really like the L'Oreal True Match cushion. This is something that I was so happy when it launched in the market because I love the L'Oreal True Match foundation and the liquid type foundation. So when they converted it into a cushion, I was just like, oh my gosh, I will love it. I know I love it. This isn't as kind of high coverage as the liquid foundation, but I find that this gives a very youthful radiance and is super perfect for anyone who has kind of dehydrated skin on an everyday basis as a luxury option. This is the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Cushion. You guys know I love this. I'm gonna link the video below. It's incredible. It's really full coverage. It's one of those luxury cushions which sits so nice on my skin. It also doesn't make me overly greasy from the start to the end of the day. I do have to use a little bit of powder because I find that this does kind of transfer a little bit. Most things transfer, but I feel like when I press it on my skin and lift my hand up, it does pick up a bit of product, but that's just a testament to its adherence abilities onto the skin. You guys, I can't choose my favorite foundation. I've used so much, but you know, it's just gonna be a variety of a selection because they do different things for me. But drugstore, I really like the Catrice HD liquid foundation, and yeah, it basically claims to last up to 24 hours. I won't say that I've tried this for 24 hours, but it does last an incredibly long time. It's something that's super full coverage, almost borderline cakey, but I like to use this with a beauty blender and dab it all over my skin. I find that it gives super full coverage while being really kind of smoothing. For more of a pricey option, you guys know that the Power Fabric from Giorgio Armani was something that I tried recently as well, and it's really good. I would say that I still like the Luminous Silk, but I find that I reach for the Power Fabric a lot more nowadays because it's new. It's newer than my old Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, which I still refuse to throw away because it's really pricey, but this is so good. It's kind of like a sister to the Luminous Silk by being a little bit less dewy looking, so for oily skin girls this is really good. If you want something a little bit thicker and super mattifying, this is the Evermatte Shine Proof Foundation from Becca. This is literally some sorcery. I don't know how to describe it to you guys, but I always try to ration as much as I use this because it's just so good. Like every time I use too much of it, I'm just like, oh my goodness, the magic is running out. For some reason, it just works like that in my head. And when I do use this, the incredible thing is that I don't need to use primer. I do need to use moisturizer with this, but I don't use a primer, and this lasts the whole day without making me look greasy at all. Like seriously, and it makes me look poreless as well. My skin looks so smooth, and yeah, this is just magic in a bottle. And more recently, I picked up the NARS Velvet Matte Foundation Stick. Looks like this. I have it on my skin today. It is a velvet finish. It isn't anything that's too like strikening matte. It does leave a little bit of a tacky finish, but it isn't noticeable when you look at it up close. It looks really velvet, very smoothing. It's a very little product, I must say, but it performs really well on the skin. This is the Burt's Bees lipstick. They look like honeycombs and they're super cute, as you can see. So basically these lipsticks, I would say it's a very personal preference. It's my ultimate favorite because of the formulation. If I were to formulate my own lipstick line, I basically would have it be a little bit the texture to be a little bit more firm in terms of the way it's shaped in the bullet, because these are unfortunately really buttery and sometimes they kind of smoosh around. The formulation and the way it wears on the lips is super creamy, really balmy. It's a really beautiful selection of colors, mostly neutrals, and yeah, I feel like on the lips it's pretty much a balm and it gives me all day hydration. It almost feels like honey, but it gives a very like neutral, trendy nude shades and also a little bit more of that berry like stain. Okay, last but not least, my liquid lipstick favorite would be these Kat Von D's Everlasting liquid lipsticks. I'm wearing Bow and Arrow on my lips now, paired with like a cool tone lip with a, you know, purple-ish eye. I found that to be a little bit more grungy, a little bit more tonally pairing, but yeah, I really like these. They last all day. They are something that's not crumbly. The applicator is really good. I love that it's really thin and the shade selection is just to die for. I only have a couple, but these nude ones, Lolita, the Lolita 1, 2, maybe 3, that range is really great, and they have different shades and undertones to them. But yeah, I just love all the nudes from Kat Von D, and I'll probably be purchasing a lot more if she releases more nude colors. But yeah, these are my liquid lipstick favorites. And if you guys want to know how I achieve this look using my favorites, some of my favorites, do check out the video that I'll be posting. And yeah, it will probably be a preview clip on my Instagram, a quick 1-minute video, but the full in-depth tutorial on how I achieve this New Year's inspired look will be on my channel, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, don't forget to share this with your family and friends, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!